Hey, welcome back. I'm Carissa, and if you are new here, I am a flower farmer. I have an acreage that I am slowly filling up with perennials, and I just recently went to some of our local nurseries with a friend, and they had such great deals. I thought it was a great opportunity to sort of fill up some of the empty spots in my landscape. So besides the flower farm, which is mostly annuals that I grow down closer to the road, this area up here is more of our personal area. I have 3 spots that I'm looking to fill. So I have our orchard, which underneath the fruit trees, I've got some spring bulbs that are sort of starting to go dormant. So it's more obvious right now where I'm going to be able to plug these in without sort of disrupting where the daffodils are planted and that type of thing. Another area is our woodland garden. So that's a shade garden. And again, just filling in some of the gaps in that area as well. Third area is I used to have like a mini shed right over there beside our vegetable garden. And I moved the shed, we repurposed it, and now I've got this sort of area that I need to fill in with some beautiful plants. So those are my 3 areas that I'm going to be using all of these with. So most of these are zones 4 through 8 or 9, I would say. Some are shade, some are sun. Like I said, I've got 2 different areas I'm planting in. And then also deer resistant in my experience. And deer resistant in my definition, or what I've heard before, is it can sustain just a little bit of nibbling from the deer, or the deer don't prefer it and they won't eat it. But nothing is entirely deer proof, right? There's a difference between that. So anyway, let's get into what I have purchased to fill up some of my areas. This is Baptisia false indigo, and it is just a stunning plant. So I have a few of these, 3. I already have one in the landscape. I started some from winter sowing and they came up, but it's going to take a while for them to get a little bit more established. And these ones already have blooms. So I'm really excited about these. I think they're a beautiful plant, deer resistant, and a beautiful cut flower as well. All right, these are new to me as well. Well, Penstemon isn't new to me, but this is a new type of Penstemon. So this is Prairie Jewel, and I have 3 of these. And I just love this sort of gray texture. I think that makes them a little bit more drought tolerant typically when they have a gray leaf. So yeah, less water for these probably, and they have a pink or lavender bloom. And then they had a bunch of bulbs on sale that were 75% off. So this one type of peony was actually only $3. So I bought 3 of these, and they are called Celebrity. And I think it's quite beautiful. I have tons of dahlias. I really didn't need more, but again, this was 75% off. So I purchased this as well. It is called Bolt, and I've never seen a lime green dahlia, so I just had to grab this one. And the ball dahlias are actually very, very wonderful for cut flowers because they last a little bit longer than the dinner plate dahlias or the cactus dahlias. As you can see, I buy in multiples of 3 or 5 or 7 typically. Mostly 3 this time because I was buying so many. I thought 3 is more than enough. But it's just nice to have sort of an odd number in the landscape. So I have Bergenia, and this is Heartleaf. Beautiful shade plant, and that's what the bloom will look like. And this 4-inch pot, all of these perennials were actually only $5.99, which is actually a really good deal. Plants have gone up, I've noticed, around town. So this was a very good deal, which is why I bought so many this time. And then I have 3 of these too. These are verbena, and it's actually called White Spires. Really interesting texture on that, and I think the blooms will be really, really nice. More verbena. I have 2 pink spires and 1 blue spires. I can't get enough salvias, veronicas, verbenas, any of those spiky textures I just love to have in the landscape. And even the leaves are so beautiful on this one. And then I have some bleeding hearts. So I've got 2 different types. Neither of them are your typical classic bleeding hearts. I have the white and bacchanal, if that's how you say it. So that's what the white one will look like. Really nice color on the leaves there. And then again, this one's not your classic bleeding heart. The foliage is a little bit more gray silver, and then the bloom's just a little bit more fuchsia instead of the classic pink. These will be really nice in the woodland garden. This is a new plant to me. This is called Golden Marguerite, and it's Anthemis tinctoria calwayii. And I just really like the soft yellow flower that it's going to get, but also the texture of that leaf. So I've got a few of those. And I've really noticed I love the combination of purple and yellow together, so I think this will look really nice with some of the purple interest I already have. And now I have some periwinkle or vinca major. Actually a vinca minor, Ralph Schugert, and then also a vinca major, variegata. And my neighbor actually has these and she says they're very, very happy in her garden. And I just need some ground cover in my woodland garden, which is full shade, or part shade, I would say mostly shade. And I think these will be really good just to help with the weed pressure, just to get some soil covered to deter some of those weeds. And the blooms on these are going to be quite nice as well. So that's a purple one. And then this one's also purple, but just the leaf texture is different on these two plants. And I'm usually buying multiples, like I said, but this one I only bought one because this is more of a test. So this is a cultivar of Solidago or goldenrod. It's called Super. And I'm hoping it will be less weedy than your typical, I think it's Solidago canadensis, which is the native one we have in our area. But it's supposed to be great for a cut flower, so I'm going to try this one. And seeing as it's a cultivar, it hopefully will be less weedy. But yeah, it's nice to have a pop of yellow in the garden as well, even if I'm not going to be cutting from it. So this is more of a trial to see if it will be a thug in the garden or if it will just be a friend. And here are some astilbes. I have tons of astilbes, but mostly I only have purple, pink, and red so far. So this is a new addition. This is called Mojito. And I think it's just sort of like a limey muted green, which I think is going to be quite beautiful. And even the leaves are so pretty. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to buy the same plant over and over and over. And when I saw this one, I thought, oh yeah, I've got to have this in the garden. And these are shade lovers as well. Now these are rose marble salvias. Really beautiful spike interest. Like I said, I can't get enough of these, but I don't think I have this salvia yet. So I wanted just this nice, beautiful color added to the yard. I find salvia reseeds a little bit for me, which is fine for me, but yeah, it's just something to keep in mind if you want plants that stay a little bit tidier. Okay, and then I have some more Penstemon. So I showed you the prairie jewel, but this is your typical Penstemon, just with the burgundy leaf and the burgundy stem. So I've got 3 of the Dark Towers beard tongue. That's what the blooms look like there. And then 2 of the Onyx and Pearls beard tongue Penstemon. Really different, unique looks, but I think they're both equally gorgeous, and I just love Penstemon. Well, that is it for perennials, but I had to show you what I also picked up. So I've got some barberries. These are Aurea Nana, and I just love that. It's just such a beautiful, bright texture. We live in the middle of a forest, really, so we've got a lot of the, the evergreen green color, but this breaks it up a lot, and I think it adds a really nice pop of bright to the landscape. So yeah, these are always great for me. They are not invasive in our area. I know in some regions they are, but they are deer resistant, and they just sort of keep to themselves and add a really nice pop of color throughout the year. And I also picked up this flamingo willow, which is a shrub actually. It only gets to be about 5 by 7 high and wide. But the new growth is bright pink, which I think is going to be so beautiful. I just love pink. Pink is probably my favorite color. So I think this will be really nice to add to the yard as well. It does require more water than I typically use. I try and buy a lot of drought tolerant things just because of our climate, but this one will definitely need to be in an area that gets more water. And that is what the new growth looks like. And last of all, I have some water hyacinth, which is what I typically put in the pond. It usually does really well and multiplies and takes over the pond, and also helps keep some algae just from blocking some of the sun that gets into the water. So I'm going to pop these into the pond now. Well, that's all for today. I just thought it would be fun to show just an abundance of plants. And like I said, I got such great deals on those. It's easier to kind of fill up your yard when you're getting a deal. Anyway, let me know if you've tried any of those plants and what your experience has been with them. It's so interesting to hear about all of your gardens as well. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.